Hey guys, welcome to another puzzle streak. I'm going to be trying my best to get to 50 puzzles accurately solved. This is part of my training, hopefully on the road to become an international master of chess. There's a long way to go, so let's not delay. All right, let's get to it. The first puzzle, I'm seeing a check and a mate. All right, second puzzle we're playing as black. Here's a check. Does allow the king to escape up this way. We can provide a follow-up check, which would be mate. The only alternate move would be either this, which is also mate, or this, which allows this mate. So that's pretty good. Okay, there's going to be a discovered check here if we want it, and then win the rook. The discovered check being provided by the rook. I don't think there's anything better than that. We could obviously take the queen upon recapture. We could, let's see. Okay, nothing's immediately coming to mind with that one. We could give a check. We could give a check to start. He's not able to take. It's important to note he cannot take, for he would lose his queen. So he would, and he can't move the king here, so he would have to move the bishop back. All right. At that point, is there a follow-up? We can't simply take this. He can take back in whichever way he wants. I mean, we could do that. Doesn't seem like that would be astoundingly fantastic. What if we provided an attack on this bishop first? Bishop may have to move. That doesn't really make a difference. Bishop doesn't have to move anywhere. Okay, so this is I'm finding this difficult. I'm finding this difficult. You know, if we came here and we were threatening mate, again, he's just going to take. So what's the problem? This, he can come here. I don't think there's much sense in doing something like this. Or is there? I mean, he can't recapture with his bishop because it's pinned. If our bishop's here, his is here, and our rook is here, he takes with the king. Does that have any benefit for us? I don't think so. The one thing that we could do after the check, yep, the check forces him to come here. At that point, we can take the queen. We can take the queen, and if he wants to recapture our queen, we take a rook. And he actually goes for this instead, so we'll take that queen. That one took me a while. This just looks like it's a check right here, and we can follow it up with a checkmate there. So that's good. 5 puzzles through. Let's keep the ball rolling. Here's a check. He has to move. We can then provide another check and finally get him on the back rank. Everywhere a check, check. What about this? We can win the rook with check. It's generally advisable. The king would not have to move. He could retreat the queen, but regardless, we've won a rook. We don't want to do this, I don't think, because he can take the queen. However, we could take his queen. We could take his queen, and we would be attacking his bishop. So if we do this, we're also attacking the bishop. If he wants to retreat his queen, we win the bishop. So if we do this and he takes our queen, we take his queen. If he then retreats his bishop, no, he could take our rook. He could take our rook, but we can take this pawn. And it looks like our pawn becomes unstoppable and it's going to become a queen. Or he doesn't take our rook, in which case we take his bishop. Here we've got a check. It's going to move him across. At which point, at least our knight is safe. And after he's moved, we can win the bishop. That looks good. Alrighty. We've got a beautiful check here on the back rank. The only piece that can prevent it is the queen. We can take that. Guys, I'll give you a bit of a background. I live in Australia, as you can probably tell from the accent. This looks pretty good. And we've just got the potential now for those of us living in New South Wales that we can potentially now go and travel overseas. And when we come back, we don't have to quarantine in a hotel anymore for 2 weeks at a gigantic cost. We can travel, come back, and get back to our normal lives the way that travel has always been. So I'm looking at that, and I've been doing that tonight, but I've got to get back into the mind frame of chess. We can attack the queen. The queen can move. There's no point in giving any checks here. It could take perhaps a pawn, this one or that one. Probably this one would make more sense so that it still somewhat has a threat down on h7. But the moment the queen moves out of the way, doesn't really matter where it goes, we're going to have this check. And when the king moves, we're going to have a retreating move with the rook, which may end up being checkmate. And I miss this. I miss this counter-attacking idea, which has traditionally been my blind spot. I'm too busy talking about, my excitement about potentially being able to travel. Now, if I move the king out of the way, he will also have this check, and we're going to have to block, which is kind of annoying. If I come over this way, then he really doesn't have any useful checks. He can pin, however. He can pin my rook. But even pinning might not be enough after I take with the bishop. He would then have this check. I can move away. And my rook, which is actually defended by the bishop, would be attacking him. So I have a feeling I should just take a step to the right with the king. I think I should just take a step to the right with the king. I don't think I want to do this and give that up. Not that that would be the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. It would allow him to take this bishop. So I'm going to take a step to the right. And my streak's already over. My streak's already over, guys. This is not a good day. This is not a good day. Only 10. Now, I really thought it was going to be okay just to take a step to the right. So what's the refutation? What move would he have here? I mean, I don't think he can give me a check. I just take. I mean, again, if he comes here, I take here. I'm hitting his rook. I don't mind hitting his rook. And regardless really of what he does next, if he takes my rook, I take, he takes my bishop. That's possible. So what happens after this instead? If I block, okay, then his queen is under attack and we go back to where we were before. Yeah, okay. I'm not convinced, honestly. Not that I'm wrong, but that I'm not convinced that I understood why this move was not right. So I know they want this. And then I suppose this. He doesn't have time to take the bishop because we made him. But I really want to know what was wrong with the idea. Now we have to go back a couple moves. I really want to know what was wrong with the idea of stepping the king out to f8. What's wrong with this? Apparently white is winning. Oh, he's got a bishop over here. Has it got something to do with that? Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, and I can't take the queen because it's pinned. Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. You know, you're trying to become a master of something, but you're still a beginner. You're still a beginner, a total and utter klutz of a beginner. And that's just the way it is. So if we take this one back, at this exact moment, I was considering, hey, I can just step to the side. And I was so blinded just thinking that the only pieces on the board was the queen and the light squared bishop. Didn't occur to me that, you know, he could have another piece join in on the action. In contrast, when we do block this way, his queen's under attack. Okay, he can give a counterattack against our queen, but that actually shouldn't matter. I think we can take the queen. No, we can't. Oh my gosh, showing my true colors here, guys. I thought that after he takes the queen, we're going to have a nice check. I suppose the issue is when he moves and we move away, he's going to have something that captures our checking piece, which isn't really great. I guess, you know, we could take here and we should still have a winning game. Let's take the bishop here. And we do, we're still winning. But clearly I've missed something pretty drastic. So wait, we're still -5. That seems pretty good. Did I miss something after this? That's a really nice counter-attacking move. I guess we could take this bishop. We could take that bishop, but then he takes here with check. So I don't think we really like that. I think taking the queen was fine, but it says no. It says there's something better here. Maybe it's this. This is just not funny. I didn't think he could do that because of this. I'm running afoul of the same issue, though, that after he moves the king away and I move the rook, he's going to be able to take the checking piece. That's what I keep on missing. So that's not good. So what's the best move here? Can it tell me what the best move is? Yeah, give me a hint. Okay, so it is either take the queen. That's what I thought. But when I did that, it said I made an inaccuracy. All right, well, this is strange. You know what, guys? I don't give up. I'm not ready to give up. It's time to start a new streak straight away. Here we go, new streak. All right. There's a mate in one. Here's a nice check, and we can give him a mate after that. All right, we're black. So we've got this, which looks like it's going to lead to a mate pretty quickly. All right, these ones seem a fair bit easier so far. So we're white. Okay, can we take this? Maybe not. I mean, we can, but maybe that's not the best move. Okay, what do we want to do? What do we want to do here? If we take this, he can take either way. So I don't really see anything amazing there. We can come here, attacking the rook. Of course, he could take, we take back. I don't see what we've gained there. We could take that, but I feel like this actually gives us a bit of protection at the moment in a very open position. Here's something. Here's something. Here's a little check. Our bishop does a great job. It's going to be forcing him there. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. And then we've got the check coming in with the rook that was there. Now we've got a check here. This is going to be a back rank issue. Here we could obviously take the queen if we were so inclined, but we could also give a check. When he moves away, we could mate him with the queen. Here we can take this if we like, but it's probably better to take a pawn and then take the queen. Nice old knight fork. Okay, we can take this. When he recaptures, we can take this, but also it's probably better to take that. So let's take this and take that. He's attacking this, so it would seem, but we can give a check. And then we can capture that. All right, so I'm going a little bit quicker this time, I know, probably because I'm a bit frustrated. Now we do have this move. He can take our queen, but then we can take his queen with check. Really, he has to move away then. But I'm wondering if we're willing to give our queen away, why don't we give it away like this? Check. If he moves away, well, you know, life's pretty good. We've won a pawn. At least. But if he takes, we can take back. We're hitting the queen. The queen has a time to move away, I don't know, somewhere. Obviously not here. What if we take this way? Check. Then he might have to move here. Then we can give this check. Yes, now we're talking. If he takes, well, now we can give this check. He moves away. And we've won a pawn and a rook for the sake of a bishop, which is good. Okay. We've got this. That's check. It actually forces him over here. And then there's mate. All right, here we've got a check, forcing him over this square. If we want, I think we should. It's generally pretty advisable. We have to be aware that he's threatening to mate us in two. So if we have to do something, it's going to be something that ends the game. So we can give a check, forces him here. How do we proceed then? How do we proceed? Because I don't see any further checks except for this. We would have this check. And, you know, if he tries to block that, A, we could take the queen. But B, we could also jump back up here with check. And when he comes here, we could give another check and sort of force him back. And at least there's a draw there. So I think we're going to take. If he takes like that, we can take this. That's not a problem. And take here, and he moves away. We just take the queen. And we've got an absolutely smashing endgame. All right. Best move for white. We've got a check here. He's unable to move anywhere there. So that would make this the only follow-up move. Okay, at that point, we can take the pawn. We're pinning the rook. Life should be good because that rook can't move. Is there a counterattack against our rook? No, there's not, which means we're going to take that. He'll probably take back. We're going to have a rook and a knight and an extra pawn versus two bishops, which should be good. So let's do that. Is there something better here? Probably not. Okay, clearly we're pinned. Is there some special trick that we can do? We take this, he takes back. Probably not. We can take this, no. Okay. What if we come here? If we come here, we're double attacking the knight. That's one thing. I guess he could play something like this though, and attack both of these pieces. Okay. Let's see. If we did come here and give him this, I don't think, why don't we give a check? Okay, and after he takes, we can take this. Everything's hunky-dory. Alrighty, we are black. We would like to get a queen, I imagine. So what would be so wrong with doing this? Yes, it gives this up, but then we do this. We've got connected pawns here. If he takes one, we get a queen, and that should be lights out. Beautiful. All right, so there's no checks we can provide at this exact moment. One thing we could do is take the rook. When he recaptures, we take the queen, and even if he takes our knight, we take the pawn. So in that, we've won these three things. And we've only given away this thing and this thing. So that seems really good. Let's do it. Okay, I like how he promoted to a rook there. So we want to find the best move for white. This could be tricky given that it's an endgame. With endgames, you always want to take your time. And part of it is just seeing what moves he actually has. Like if we come here, this can't move. I guess he could give us a check, but we can take a step up, assuming that this pawn is now here. And he won't be able to move here. He won't be able to move here. He won't be able to move here. He's going to have to move back somewhere. And after he moves back, we can collect this pawn and we'll win that game. So he moves back immediately. So now I think we're just going to come here, take the opposition. If he comes here, then I guess we come here. If he jumps back here, we can give a check. This is tricky to me. This is tricky to me. It's probably so simple to any actual international master. And when I say probably, I mean definitely. I mean, let's see what happens if I come here. He can just jump on in here. I think this is the most kind of obvious move. If he comes here, well, I can just come here. If he goes here, there is check, moves him back. We come here. And then he sort of has to move away. And eventually we do win that pawn. And if he comes that way, well, we just do the other thing. Okay, now there's this. But that would be really bad. There's this, and that would be really good. All right. Take this. He takes back, most likely. There's also this. There's also this. Just a cute little fork. Pure and simple. Pure and simple. And I really don't see why not. There is the counterattack on the pawn. There's not much of a counterattack. We take the bishop. Okay. And then we've got a pass pawn. Or we take the knight. He takes back. Take the bishop. No, I'd rather take the bishop. So I'm going to do the fork. It's nice and easy. There's a counterattack, but I don't think it really does much. So we can take the bishop. If he takes, we've got a chance to, well, he wouldn't want to take. Not in a million years. If we take, then he takes back. I think we are laughing. All right, we're 20 moves in now. We're getting somewhere. Here's a check. Forces him here. Then I think we could just jump the knight up here with quite the threat of checkmate. So how does it deal with that threat of checkmate? Well, of course, he could give up his queen. We'd be happy to see it. Or he could move his rook out of the way, giving his king this square to move to. But even after he does that, there's check. He comes here. We can then give another check. He would have to come here. We can then take this pawn. In fact, we could even take this pawn. Check. Supported by the knight. So here, here, here. Excuse me. Here, 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 here. Yeah, okay. Something's not quite right there. What if we give the check first? Give the check first. I guess he can just come around here. We can give a check and that would win an exchange. Or he can come here. Not too sure about that. Yeah, this is interesting. So I feel like there should be something else here though after check. And we jump the knight up. I think he has to move this away. Yeah, that's what it is. We can come, we can hit We can hit him right here in that case. Check, moving him back here. And then where's the follow-up? Guess we can give another check. He moves here, then another check. Then if he comes here, we can give this check. Oh man, this is messy. This is Lionel Messi. Check. So he's now here. We can come back with a check. He comes here. Our knight's here helping. So then we can give check. He has to come here. We can give this check then. If he comes back, yeah, I just don't see how we're actually mating him. He can just keep going back and forth. Unless when his king hits this square with his rook over here, we then jump the knight up here, forking the king and the queen. So check, he comes here, we come near. Give this check, he runs away. We give this check, he comes back here. Can hit the queen, but I don't think we can do it in the way we want it. We could give this check again and he comes over here. I just don't see how this is happening. I don't see how this is happening. It's rather frustrating. What else is there in the position? There's this. If he takes the knight, we can take a rook. So that's not a bad thing necessarily. There is also this check. What happens after this check? I suppose nothing really changes. Also this check. Okay. Just give me a moment here. All right, guys, just had a quick phone call to deal with there, but let's continue on with this rather challenging puzzle, at least a puzzle that I'm finding rather challenging. Okay, what am I not noticing? What am I missing here? Is it something really simple? Oh, clearly it's something simple. These are beginner level puzzles. Guess there is the check. If he comes here, there's this check, which wins an exchange, and that's nice. Which means that after check is more likely to come here. I don't feel I have a follow-up there. There is this check, but after this, I don't see what I'm supposed to do to really drive the nail home. I can come here to threaten mate. He can make some room for himself. I can give a check, and we have a perpetual, I suppose. Or I can give the check here, forcing him over there. And then I can give another check, forcing him here. And then I guess I can take this pawn. And I am threatening to take this with a very big check. But he could defend that at that stage. So I just don't get this one. Oh man. Something like this to free the bishop up. What am I missing? Let's have a more macro view of the situation. He's got 6 pawns, as do I. We both have 2 rooks, a bishop and a knight and a queen. So the material is equal. My pawn structure is probably a little bit worse in the sense that I've got 2 isolated pawns. He's got a pawn chain somewhere toward the center of the board. Okay. But his king has a bit of long-term weaknesses, whereas we can easily castle. So I would prefer to have white here. his knight can't make use of these squares at the present moment. And even if it were to get here, these squares are somewhat out of reach as well. So I feel that the position is good. Is it just this? Is it just this? We're going to take the knight, take a pawn. And, what are you going to do about it? I don't think so. I just don't think so. But I can't see what to do. So this is really killing me. If you can see what to do and you've been watching this for the last 10 minutes, thinking, geez, Mike, it's, whatever the move is, just bloody play it. I apologize. I apologize why I can't get this. I don't understand. Why I continue to look at this. It just seems like it should be, it's such a forcing move. Bringing the knight up, threatening the mate. But after he moves the rook, there's this single check. Single check. He comes back. What am I missing there? What am I missing there? I can't just take the knight. It makes no sense at all. Check. Come here. Makes a space. Give the check here. He has to come back. And there's just a perpetual. It's just a perpetual. I mean, if I was playing this game against a higher rated player and I saw the perpetual and I didn't see anything else, which I'm not seeing, I'd do it. I would do it, and I would be very happy to escape with a draw against a higher rated player. But there is something better here. There must be something better here. At least that's what you're led to believe by the fact that it's a tactic and there's normally something, crushing. Or is it not? Is it just a perpetual? I mean, is it, I would like to get this rook happening, but that's very slow. I'd like to, maybe consider moves like this, but that gives up these important squares, or at least this important square. I'd like to consider a move like this and get the bishop out, get the rook into the game, castle. They're all moves I'd consider. I'd consider this move too, but this move, he comes over here, he makes a space. Is there a sacrifice? Often the missing key, but what do we actually win from that? He takes, we win this, pawn, check. Yeah, okay. Big whoop, check. He moves somewhere. We take the queen, he takes our knight. So we lose these two, and we only win these two. That's not good. Check. Immediate sacrifice. Check. He comes here. We come here. He makes a damn space. Makes a damn space. What if we come here and hit the queen? Immediately. Immediately hit the queen. Well, the queen either steps here, and then what have we got? Yeah, I guess if he does come there, we still can't even give a check, sacrificing the knight and winning the rook. Actually, I guess we could do that. We could do that. Issue is, of course, the issue is the queen doesn't have to come here. It could come here as well, or here. And in those circumstances, here it's threatening something like that. So that's probably where it would go. So in this kind of a world, I would expect this. And then even though we can give a check to the king can take the knight. The rook's then defended. So check. Is it actually just the matter that we should in fact give this check? He comes back. We give this check. He comes here. Now we give the check here. He comes here. We give the check here. He comes here. Oh, and then we take that pawn. Yeah, that's bloody well it. I'm really sorry that took so long. We didn't even get to see it in the end. Sorry, I got to take that one back. We've got to have a look at that situation. That was just craziness. You know, take it back to here. I really thought that after this, he was going to move this way. And I don't really see why they wouldn't do that. Unless it is just a matter of, check. Let's just, okay, if he makes a space, there's check. He comes here. There's check. He comes back. There's check. He comes here. There's check. He comes here. There's check. And at that stage, he's almost mated. He can only come here. Okay. And from there, I guess, can give another check, but looks like he's getting away. So once we take this and he comes here, the rook's up here, would it then be a matter of doing something like this? So that we are immediately threatening checkmate. And I don't know, maybe the only way he can stop that is by sacking the rook for the pawn. Or is it more that when he steps onto this square, then we have this fork? So this, 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 this. Right, he can't go there. I'm so sorry. Here, 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 here. Boom. Check. And then after he moves, we win the queen. Oh, so we're going to win the queen anyway. We're going to win the queen anyway. We're going to win the queen plus these 2 pawns if he moves the rook. So that's why rather than giving up the 2 pawns in addition to the queen, he just gives the queen up immediately. Oh, all right. Well, we got through it. We got through it. All right. Time to continue the streak. Finding the best move for black here. How about we give a check? How about we give a check? It only leaves this 1 square, but it leaves that 1 square. Okay, what I do like about that is, good, that's really annoying. Okay, he can come here, and we can give this check, which to me would appear to be a checkmate. All right, here we go. Oh, still recovering. So there's this, which is a double attack on a rook and a bishop. The one can defend the other, not quite. Can something else defend both of them, like the queen? Well, it would like to, but it can't. So that looks really good. There is a check here you take. All right, so there is that check he can take though. After he takes, we've got a beautiful checkmate. And if he doesn't take and he just steps to the side, well, we can take our pick of taking a bishop, or maybe even just coming in with a big check. Nah, we'll take the bishop. All right, well, this looks like fun. Why don't we take the queen? If he takes back, we take the rook. It's nice. All right, now this, we would love to be able to do something like that, but we can't because we're pinned. What can we do though? Do this. Chekabrewski. After he moves, that's going to be really painful for him. All right, he's attacking this. We can do this, but maybe we want to continue to have him cut off there. So maybe we do this instead. Just attacking his knight. There's no checks available to him. I see now that he is actually threatening to queen, but our rook covers that square. Our knight, excuse me, covers that square. So if we attack the knight, where does the knight go? I guess he can come here. Doesn't seem fantastic. Wow, what am I smoking, you know? Just take the rook. You can take this rook, that is true. That is true. So maybe we give a check first. And we're not interested in checkmating him, so I don't care where he steps. The point is after he steps, then we can take this. And we've taken a rook. This guy can't become a queen. There's no meaningful checks anywhere. Let's do that. Okay, so we're black. We might want to attack the queen. We might want to take a bishop. We might want to attack the queen. And after it moves somewhere far away, then we're going to have a double attack on the bishop, and we're going to win that bishop. Attack the queen. Anywhere else he can go? Any counterattacks? No. Okay, let's take. Wonderful. We could, it looks like we can take that queen. Am I wrong? It's probably because there's this check, which is a counterattacking idea. So this is similar to the last one where I think we can just provide a check first. Once we provide the check, I mean, if he wants to block with the queen, that's fine, we take. If he wants to block with the rook, fine, we take and give another check and we continue on. So that's it. And then we take this. We're still threatening this, of course. Is there anything better? Is there some sort of a mate? No. This actually allows him to defend. So let's take this. We've got this if we want it. We can't quite take that. This would become a double attack on the bishop. But, okay, interesting. There's this. This pinning the bishop. So the bishop can't move and is double attacked. I like that. Let's take. All right, we got a check. And when he moves, we're going to mate. Oh, we don't have a mate. Be careful. Be careful. This would be a massive blunder. And would certainly lose the game. Okay, there's this check. He can come here. We can give this check. He can come here. And that is all the checks we can give. So not convinced on that. Not convinced on that. 29 moves into the streak. But there is a check, and when he moves, we can come back with a check or forward with a check. Forward with a check forces him here. It's just a shame that we can't then take this. That would be lovely, but the queen's not in the right spot. So after check, if we come back with check, either he repeats, we've gotten nowhere, Or he runs away and we're still unable to take. There's no sacrifice that I can see. We could attack the queen and threaten mate. If he takes, we can take here, but he can defend. He can defend without a problem. So we're down material significantly. He's got 6 pawn versus 5. He's got an extra knight, so we're a little bit down in material. Unless we do something, this is looking dire. But what can we do? That doesn't work. As far as I can tell, this doesn't work. What am I missing? Ah, the moment when you expand your mind. We've got a nice fork. So the key is to see that this pawn is pinned. And so this knight's free to jump. There we go. There we go. Starting to think. What if we take this? If he were to take back, we would have a free bishop. So if we take, he's most likely going to take our bishop. Then we can attack the queen. When the queen moves, we'll be able to take the bishop, except that the queen could move over here, where it pins the pawn that would like to capture the bishop, but in that case, we can still take, so I like it. Okay, I think we can take. There's no great big, he can't even come there. There's no great big danger there. Life's good. All right, well, we've got this check. We've also got this check. Again, just learning about the pins from before. This check forces the king to take. And then that would be a mate, as opposed to doing it this way, where he can get up here. And then after this, we're just losing. So let's take and mate. All right, I seem to have learned something there. My vision's getting a little bit better. You can take this, he can take back. But what if we just play this? Because if this knight has to move somewhere, I mean, it can't come here or here. It makes no sense. It could come here, I suppose. It could come here, I suppose. But in all cases, the bishop then hangs. If he attacks our rook, we can move to the side. And can he counterattack us in any other way? Not that I see. We'll take that, thank you. Okay, how about a check? Did someone order a check and win a queen? I mean, it's tempting to do this, but why do that when you could do this instead? White to move, we've got a check, clearly. We've also got this check. Okay, both give him some options. I'm feeling a knight fork coming on. I can't see it yet. Check, he's got this. Check, he's also got this. We've got this to attack the queen, but then he takes the knight with check, which is not what we want. What about coming out here? I mean, at present, he's not really threatening much. You know, why don't we just push the pawn? We've got a passed pawn. Why don't we push it? His king's not in time to save anything. We're going to get a queen in that case. And we're only one square away. So if he wants to get this, stop it from becoming a queen, there's actually no way for him to do it. He might do this, but that doesn't help. But before I make that move, counterattacking ideas. Counterattacking ideas would include giving a check, which is pretty scary. Because the king's got nowhere to go but here, and then he can take the rook with checkmate. That's quite incredible. That's quite incredible. So what if we first come here so that if he pushes this, we can take. Okay, now after this, we'll be ready to push the pawn. Again, if we push the pawn straight away, he's going to check us. And then mate us. So we can't allow that. So maybe we give a check first. And then he comes here. He's still not in time because of the fact that our rook protects, which means he's ultimately going to have to give. He's ultimately going to have to give the queen for the rook. He'll win this pawn. Then it's going to be a matter of us winning this pawn. But we've got the knight. It's not just purely a wing pawn versus a wing pawn. We've also got the knight. So we'll be able to win in that circumstance. All right. Making some progress. Now, what is going on in this position? It seems that there's a fair amount going on. We've got a beautiful bishop, got a nice rook. He's sort of a bit uncoordinated. Of course, if we take here, he's going to mate us. So don't even think about that move. We could give a check if we wanted to take our queen for free. So that would be a great idea if we're trying to immediately lose. We've also got this idea, combining the great bishop and the great rook to attack that queen, which is a little bit discombobulated. It's got nowhere to go. I really like that. Very nice. Sorry, he's attacking us. That's for sure. We've got this though. We've got this move check. He can take. Though. It's a little bit scary. I wonder if we can give a check. He takes. Bishop is defending the knight. What if we take the rook? That's interesting. If we take the rook, it takes with the king. Then we can take the pawn, and we're threatening mate, which is nice. If he takes with the queen, we can take the bishop. If he takes our queen, we have check. Or we could take his queen, which would be nice. That looks pretty good. What could be better? Don't think it's the check, because he could take it in too many different ways and we're still under attack. So I think it is going to be this move. If he takes like this, we take. And he has to defend the mate. Can't do it this way. Could do it like this, or he could do it like this. Just going to try and visualize this one without all the arrows. So check. If he takes with the queen, we take the bishop, and we're laughing. So he would. It's not check, but he would either have to take the rook with the. If he takes the rook, he's taking it with the king. Okay. At which point we can take G3. And after a queen comes to the defense of F2, we can check him on G1. And since the only way for the queen to defend this square is here or here or here, if we're giving a check here, okay, with our queen here, his king here, if his queen is here and we're checking him here, that would be mate. That would be mate, which means after this and this and this, he cannot step here because it's mate in one. Can he step here? Check. Check. Oh man. Why is it so hard? Take. He takes. Not even. Take here. And then take. That would be good, right? Because we want a queen and a rook for a queen. Phew. I want to go back and look at that. I know I got it, but I wasn't actually too convinced that I understood why. Why can't he take? Yeah, but I want to know what happens if he takes. So we can temp here. Okay. If he comes here, that's also mate. As with if he comes there, which means he has to come here to prevent the mate. Once he goes there to prevent mates, we still have this. So okay, he takes here to prevent mate, here. That forces him here, then here. And he has this. Right? So his king ends up here with his queen here. Our queen here. I guess then we can give one more check. But he runs. He runs for cover there. So I don't understand why he doesn't just take. I just don't understand that. Why does he not just take? Give the check. Well, it's not a check, but we take the pawn. Threatening mate. He protects that. He defends against that threat. And what? I don't see the follow-up. Is it something like this to attack the bishop? Ah, okay, yeah, right. So he takes, we come here, threatening mate, which he has to defend in this particular manner. We then give him another check. And he comes here. And then we give him this check, forking the king and the bishop. Gotcha. Oh boy. All right, let's keep it going. Next puzzle. Looks like we could take that. It is defended several times. He wouldn't want to take with the rook though, because he would lose the bishop. So I think he would have to take with the queen. What else have we got? What else have we got? Can take this if he wants to take back. We can give a check and win it back. That looks good. 38. This is so far the highest, equal highest I've been in this YouTube channel. 38 last time is the number I got it wrong on. Let's make sure we get it right this time. Here's a check. A fairly obvious check. He can't come anywhere here. So it's either here, okay, which allows this check. And after he comes here, I'm just concerned that if he gets queen, if we just look at his threats for a minute, his threat is that he's going to get a queen. And after we move, well, there's no immediate mates there. So we don't have to be too concerned about him getting this queen, because we just move. Even if he sacrifices that queen, comes in, I'm not seeing any big deal there. But there would be, he gets a queen, we come here and he checks us here. We come here, and then this guy comes down to here. That could be the problem. So we're going to have to somehow watch this square. So maybe we give this check at a certain point. Or like I was saying, we can give this check, and whether he comes here or here, we can then check him here. We cover that square in that fashion. Once that square is covered, we can push. We can't quite get this because he's covering as well. So if we give this check, we can come here. And then we're in trouble. So I'd rather give this check or this check. This check is an interesting check. Takes away that square. He still can't come here. So the options for him are this, this, and this. Those would be his options after this check. And I guess he could also come here. But if he comes here, we check him. And then we do this. No, this is tough. So check. We do this. He does that. We come here. He's got this. And we're busted there. We're busted there big time. Because we need to watch this square. So check, he comes here. Check, that's well and good. But we won't be able to queen because we still need to watch this square. So, very, very odd. Maybe what we could do is push this pawn. He gets a check. So we push the pawn. He gives a check. Oh, for goodness sake. Push the pawn. He gets a check. We jump up here. If he were to give another check, we can give a counter check. Let's say he takes, we take. He takes the pawn and crushes us. So let's not do that. Also, after this check, we move. He can immediately take the pawn and then crush us with his extra queen. This doesn't work because of this. Maybe there's something like this, but again, he's going to check. If we just do nothing, he's going to check. And then after that, win this. And that's just not good, not acceptable. So this, I haven't yet solved the issue of him coming here. I guess we could give him, oh my God. I guess we could give him a checkmate in such a circumstance. Okay, and if he comes here, do we have a similar idea? There would be this check, forcing him like there. And then there's this check. Okay, he's got some options. And indeed, after this, so this, you can just come here. But then we just come back, check. So now I need to solve this. This is the issue. Is it just this? I think that's probably it. So We come here. He comes here. We come here. That forces him here. We can come here then. Right. And that's going to force him here. How have I never seen this pattern before? And then we made him. I've never seen that. I've never seen that. Oh no. I got distracted by my own silliness and I just let him win the game. It's that awful number 38 once again coming in to destroy my hopes and dreams. It was a good run. It was a very sloppy run. Started with a very poor run. Tried again, got to 38. Missed a lot of things. I mean, I'll be fair on myself. It's now 10:30 in the evening. I'm pretty tired, but nevertheless, it's disappointing to blunder a queen at move 38 or puzzle 38. All I had to do was provide this check. Everything else was covered and I would have been on to 39. Well, that's all she wrote, folks. We'll see you next time. Like it, share it, and subscribe it. That would be a great help. If you like anything, if you want to comment, that'd be fantastic. And yeah, like I say, we'll see you next time. Cheers.